Well, hello, everybody. We've just been having fun here because Lauren always comments that for some reason, her earrings get lost
But I really am
in the
wearing
back. But
them.
put your hands behind your earrings. See the really nice earrings she's wearing? Yes. And as soon as she takes her hands away, boop, it's magic. They go. They
You need a
go.
new computer or new something.
Or new
Back.
background, something.
Anywho, you thought of this today.
Glad to have you with us.
Yes, and you thought of the topic.
Well, because I'm always thinking about that.
It's a very interesting topic.
Yes, the topic is sex, love, and intimacy.
Ooh.
I may be old, but I ain't dead yet. No,
No, you aren't.
we were thinking about for a few reasons. Let's see if this shows up because we have both recently
Oops. Here we go again.
read this book.
Stop.
Let's see if it comes through. I may have to come back here. Choosing
Stop.
each other every day.
Don't move.
Yes, and it's written by Jody and Reggie Howard, which I had as guests on my Someone You Should Know program, and they are an exciting and lovely couple that have gone through all kinds of adversities. They are a diverse family, a family that he was in the military and often was gone, and Jody had to take care of the family, which included one child with special needs. And they are just really a lovely couple that have gone through 30 plus years of marriage, but they have written this book about choosing each other every day because they talk about the importance of waking up every morning and reevaluating every day as a brand new day and looking at your partner and accepting them for everything that they are. Their pluses and their minuses, but understanding and feeding on that year after year after year. And the more that I talked with them on the show, the more it made us want to read the book. And
We
it's
did.
amazing how much you read this book and you find so much of yourself in it.
That's true.
And also Jody and Reggie Howard choosing each other every day. A great read. But it talks about uh, sex and love and intimacy and the differences between them and how important they are and how they interact. And we have talked about the fact that we've been experiencing this for over 50 years now. They've been doing it for 30, but that it is a process that you have to keep working on. For those that think that your life 20, 30, 40, 50 years after you get married is going to be like it was the day you walked down the aisle, you got blinders on, that it is a continual process. Once you have that first child or second child or third child and all, that changes the dynamic of the process. Uh,
Nobody teaches you, excuse me, but
yeah,
from the very beginning, you sit down with your priest, your pastor, your rabbi, whoever, usually before, and you go through just a little bit of counseling. At least you used to. I think it still is like that today before you get married. So he can get to know you, you can get to know him, and to help make sure that you're ready for this large commitment.
make not only that you're ready, but that you understand the road you're about to travel down.
Well, but it's not so easy to do this in 2 or 3
No,
sessions.
it isn't.
And
You're
really,
absolutely right.
it's a lifetime. And there really weren't years ago when we got together, there were no real books telling us how to do it, what to do. My mom, she really didn't say very much about getting together and how to be a wife to my new husband. And you just kind of learn it on the fly. And so I think today there are too many couples that if they try it and it doesn't work, they don't try hard enough, maybe. And they just, it's again, I always keep saying it's a throwaway society. It's easy to say, let's get a divorce.
Well, yeah, divorce has become
It's become much more,
easier,
yeah,
and it's also become more acceptable.
yeah.
Which that's part of the problem is that people say, well, if it doesn't work out, you get divorced and you find somebody else. That's an easy thing to say, but
But then that starts with all new complications with the kids, if there
absolutely,
are kids.
and if there are kids,
And
they
then more
are the ones
marriage.
that hurt the
Yes.
most.
So,
And there you just brought up a point. Sometimes a divorced husband with children and a divorced wife with children, become a blended family. Is that going to work? And how much harder do you have to work to make it work?
that's right.
You mentioned the fact there really are no definitive books on getting married or being a parent.
Now there are. There's more than there ever were.
Well, there were, but
But,
but how do you know that that book
right.
is
It's
the book for you? And believe me, if there's anybody out there that says, "Oh, well, if you just read this book and follow this book page by page, you'll have a perfect marriage," that ain't going to work because there are stumbling blocks that you hit along the way.
and not everyone
They
can
can
afford
be,
counseling.
they can be financial, they can be
Mhm.
professional, and you have to learn how to deal with that. And it's a two-person job too. You have to work through that. If a husband and wife are both employed and one loses their job, the other one becomes the breadwinner. And you both have to work on how are we going to handle this until the second one becomes re-employed. And how does that impact the children? Uh,
There are
there are
so
so
many
yeah,
things that
yeah,
go into a
abs
marriage and even a companionship. I'm not even talking about marriage at this point. Even two people that have been together for many years, you're still working on that.
yeah.
You might not have a piece of paper, but you're still working on your
And
relationship.
we've had plenty of that in our own family
Hmm.
because I have cousins that were together for 30 some years before they got married. My sister and her significant other have been together for years. Your sister and her husband were together for many years
Before they
before
got
they got married.
right.
And when we were kids growing up, the thought of two young people living together before marriage and kids, it was unthought of. Your parents
Right.
would almost disown you. No, you're not going to live together. You have to
Now,
get married.
some people
Now
say,
the parents sit down with the kids and say, "What are you in such a hurry to get married for? Why don't you just live together for a while and see if you like it?"
yeah. And
So
I don't know about that either. I think when you reach that certain age in your 40s, 50s, fine, go live together. But I think when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's too easy to live together and then throw it away if one thing happens and
uh,
you
I'm
can't
I don't know
find a
whether
million
I
dollars.
have subscribed to that anymore because when you see young people that are infatuated with each other and they're exploring and experimenting at a young age, and they want to run into marriage, they want to have this big destination wedding, and you look at them and you say, you know what the chances are of this surviving? And all that. Maybe you should hold off. Unfortunately, there's no law that says you can't get married before you're 30. Isn't it Dr. Laura that always encourages people to just date? Don't worry about getting married until you're 30.
I don't remember her saying that.
That 30 was a good age to get married because that's when you will have
Lordy.
dated and enjoyed the process of dating, and you are established in your careers. You start putting money in the bank and you're ready to go into a marriage. A lot of young people just say, well, we want to get married because we're in love.
Well, I hate to tell you, but we did. I was 21
But
and we did it.
I was a little bit more established.
You were older, you were established. I don't know. It worked for us.
It did, and it's worked for all of these years, and it's put us in a position where we can turn around and share our, our experience with you.
That's not to say that we haven't had disagreements.
Absolutely.
differing opinions. Uh, and there have been
Opposite
there
Saxes.
times, but somehow we've navigated those waters.
That is the key to a successful marriage, I think, is to be able to navigate through those troubled
How do we
waters.
navigate? Those
But
are people want to know.
it's to assess the situation. I always say put all the options on the table and look at all of them. Uh, we could well, I go back to 20 years into our marriage when we relocated from the Midwest to Florida. That was a tough decision, but we sat and we agonized over it for a while, and we said, look, if we stay here, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it and raise our family, and what are we going to do business wise and career wise? If we go to Florida, we have this opportunity and these options, and it's a getting away from the winters. And you look at all of those, you put them on the table, you start to decide, and then you make a plan. And
And
it's
that's what we
not, and
did.
it's not okay. This is what we'll try it for a year. I think that you got to throw that concept out the window because you have to start looking and say, okay, we're going to work on it. And this is where we need to try and be in a year and 3 years
But we
and
worked
five
on it.
years
We had a plan.
constantly.
We had a plan, and you were gone from the family for six
A
months.
year.
Well,
It's almost a year.
yeah, it was a year, but yeah, it was a year.
And I commuted
And you
back and
commuted
forth,
back and forth, and I took care of the business and the kids at home.
right?
And it was no easy task, but we felt you needed to try it to see if this was going to be what was in our best interest.
And it worked for us, but it could have failed, and it could have had a different outcome. We don't know what that would be, thankfully, because we made some right decisions. But I think that's all part of what this topic, sex, love, and intimacy, and all is all about. Is that it is a constant
You're
program that you're always
always
writing new
working.
chapters,
You're always working on your relationship.
and you're using your past failures and triumphs and all to build on where you are today and where you're going in the future.
Even after 51 years of marriage,
Going on 52.
yeah,
It,
there are
it,
still times where, I don't know, you that we're still working. Like you might not call if you're running late from someplace, and I'm wondering where you are, and and I see on my clock it's getting a little later, but you've gotten much better on that, and you call or you text, you let me know. If I'm going to be delayed, I do the same thing. Um, but there are times where we don't click, and it's
but I think that something that I think we have developed, and I think a lot of people like us have developed, and that is that that sensitivity, that intuition, that I believe that I can almost, with some degree of success, you know, figure out what you're gonna
what to say.
say, what you're thinking, and then and if I call and I say, do you want me to pick up something for dinner on the way home and all, or do we just gonna have something at home? I kind of have a preconceived idea of what we're gonna do, but it goes far beyond that. It's more or less what are we going to be 6 months from now? We talk about sometimes getting away and going on a trip, maybe planning a cruise. Okay, well, when and where, and start looking into it now and thinking about it, but it's planning it. Yeah, it's fun to be spontaneous from time to time and do something off the cuff and all. But you learn that sometimes that can backfire too.
Again, what? But when we get into these questionable times or these little disagreements, and we don't always talk them out. Sometimes we write little notes to each other, little texts to each other. Um, I'd like to say we don't go to bed mad. Very
Well,
rarely
yeah. I
do
mean,
we.
and if on those rare occasions we do, it doesn't last long.
Oh no. Oh no. The minute we
Yeah,
get up in the morning,
yeah.
it's over.
Well,
A hug and a kiss and a
yeah, part of that's Alzheimer's.
that's not true.
if you try to remind me, I say, why were you mad at me
Well,
yesterday?
but sometimes one of us will make more than it truly was in the discussion that we had. And one of us will say, "Oh, I didn't know there was a problem."
Yeah.
And the other one will say, "Well, yeah,
Or you're
yeah,
making more out of the
or yeah,
problem
then yeah." And that's
than
happened
is really
too.
there.
That's happened too. But I don't know. I guess we just love each other.
Yeah, that's it. And it's choosing each other every day.
Great, great, great book. Oops.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Leave it
Uh,
right there, choosing each other.
Okay. Choosing each other every day
Yeah.
by Jody and Reggie Howard. A good read. A good read. And they're good people. They have a podcast too. You can go online and
Uh-huh.
see their podcast and meet them and learn about who they are. So this show is kind of dedicated to them too. And we had a
Kudos to them.
great interaction.
Great couple.
So go out and enjoy your sex and love and intimacy. And if you want to share any aspects of it with us, drop us a line. We'd be more than happy to talk about it and share some of your ideas too. Okay?
Thanks for joining us.
Yep. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.